Guys, if you struggle with getting your guard pass, follow these tips to try and get a better guard retention. We're gonna look through a series of retentions here when Max starts from the feet and I'm on my back. And we're gonna go from the beginning, basically Max is just flanking me side to side, to a lower level, and then finally he's almost pinned me to the floor. So the first thing, guys, this is really simple, like white belt day one. My knees are up by my chest, my knees are wide, my feet are together. I have my head off the floor and my hands at my side. Obviously, as Max walks side to side to look and pass my guard, I'm going to rock my body here like a pendulum or like a rocking chair to not allow for Max to make a strong angle. This is day one stuff. As Max walks to the side, I just rock my body. But as Max gets better at jiu-jitsu, he's obviously gonna have connections on me. And so the first thing Max is gonna do is control my shins like he's gonna toreando pass. And as Max creates an angle, now it just depends on how strong this angle is. If Max's angle isn't super strong and it's easy for me to take my right foot to his hip, I just square my hips in, okay? Same thing. If we come here and Max makes a weak angle, look, you can go a little stronger, I can take my right foot to the hip and just reposition my guard. That changes yet again if Max makes a strong angle, and this is where we kind of get into the weeds here. So as Max makes a strong angle on a toreando pass, now I can't beat his hips with my right foot. So this is a problem now, because if Max didn't have this grip, even if I try to bring my right leg, it's kind of tough. I'm also at big risk for two things. One, a hip and knee post if he switches his hands. Two, I'm at risk of Max pushing my knees to the other side and just kind of folding me away. So the first thing that I do when my opponent comes out and makes this strong angle is brace my own leg. So I put my left elbow to the floor and I brace here. So if Max tries to push this way, I have a little bit of control. My second thing is to make a long frame with my right arm. And this is just a moment in time here, guys. Obviously, I'm not gonna hang out here and Max is gonna be moving as well, but this gives me a little bit of time to get on my side, and now I'm gonna start to throw my left foot around and over to where my own hand was. I put my foot on Max's shoulder. And from here, I'm gonna push, bring my right foot to the hip, and square my guard. So again, as Max comes out and makes a strong angle, I brace and catch. Look how I catch this position here. I need my elbow to the floor. My right hand is a frame. I need to be on my side, because if I try to kick here, it's not gonna work. So I'm going to hip away, bring my foot over, and now I bring my right foot to the hip, I square my guard, and I finish back centered with Max, okay? And in that point, we're gonna start moving into some counter offense and look to sweep and get back to the top position. When Max transitions lower, so now, not only did he get connection, he goes toreando pass, and he makes such a good pass, he drops right into the hip and knee. He's here. Max isn't too low yet, but he's getting there. I don't need the same brace that I did a minute ago, because now I'm not worried about Max pushing my hips. I'm worried about him pushing this bottom knee and rotating me that way, okay? I'm also worried about Max just dropping and pinning. So when he gets to the hip and knee, now my frames are two hands and it's shorter. So as opposed to before where I had this long arm frame, now it's like a forearm frame here. And I'm going to hip escape away and bring both knees up at the same time. I'm gonna put my left foot on Max's far hip and my right shoelace is here on his near hip this way, okay? We move into a position that we call S-guard. I have both hips controlled. And from this position, either direction Max walks, go ahead and walk in a circle, he brings me with him because I have feet controlling the hips. If Max's pressure isn't super strong here, it's a really easy thing to push away, bring my right foot to my left, open, and come back to this square position. Again, retaining our guard. So from this position here, Max comes out, he's gonna create the strong angle, he drops hip and knee. Look how I catch him. I bring both knees up, one, and I catch through. From this position, I'm connected to Max. I have both hips controlled, and it's an easy thing if his pressure's not too great to just push away, retain, control the wrists, and look where we are. We're ready to attack and be offensive from our guard. When we play into S-guard, sometimes guys are gonna be much heavier, right? We're gonna throw the legs up and he's gonna try to smash me from here. When Max does this, he hops in, hip and knee. Look how low Max's head is. This is a problem. He's almost pinned me here. And if I just try to bring my legs up this way, it's gonna be tough. So I need to hip escape strong. 1, 2, as he's chasing, go ahead and chase in, Max. Here, until I can bring the legs over. And from this position, now you'll notice Max is much heavier on me. He's kind of putting a lot of pressure on me. I have to be careful here that Max doesn't push my foot down and go into a thigh drag here, this way, where he's gonna scoot the corner and pass my guard. Okay, and that's gonna be a very common reaction on Toreando passing. A guy's gonna come around, and when we throw the S guard, they're gonna look to thigh drag there. By the way, if you wanna see the Toreando passes I'm mentioning here, you can go to coreprobjj.com. We have our full library on there of the Toreando pass that Max is doing here. But in this case, as Max comes in, I hip 1 and 2, I throw my legs up. Now, before Max can thigh drag me here, I'm gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna control his far armpit. My right hand is gonna scoop grip underneath Max's leg. And now from my S guard, I'm gonna unlace, bringing my left heel over Max's head, and I'm gonna kick him forward and drive everything to the top position. I finish by making a back step here, and I'm on top in knee on belly. So we use this S guard as means of a sweep. When Max comes out to hip and knee, I'm on my side, I'm hipping, and I'm throwing my legs. As Max looks to thigh drag, look how I catch this armpit here, and I pull my elbow in. If I just control like this, post your hand, now I can't sweep him. So I come in. Now my right hand goes under the leg. Guys, don't kick your partner towards their legs, kick them over their head. As I kick, I come up tall here. Now I back step, and I finish in a top position on knee on belly, using this sweep from our S guard. So we've layered ourselves up here, okay? We started a partner who doesn't really know much, just jumping side to side. Easy retention, lowest hanging fruit. He makes a weak angle, easy retention. He makes a strong angle. Now it's a far away. Look, I have that extended frame. I put my foot on the shoulder. As he gets deeper, we go into S guard. But there's one situation in which Max gets so low that I cannot retain my guard the same way. We'll talk about this here. When Max goes hip and knee, and now I'm trying to hip away and he drops to his knees. So now we are past. But the thing that you have to remember in Jiu-Jitsu, especially sport Jiu-Jitsu, it's 3 seconds for a pass. So Max not only has to drop to his knees and put my back to the floor, he's gonna need to secure my upper body in some way, shape, or form, generally a cross face and an underhook here. So I have 3 seconds to work with. And this is one instance in which it makes sense for us to expose our back to not give up the pass. So anytime you turn to your belly and expose the back, you eliminate the chest exposure, but you're taking a gamble by almost giving your back. In this situation, he's already passed, so I'm going to expose my back to take that gamble because I think it's a winning one. So, as Max goes to pin, look how my frame goes from this forearm to a backhanded frame. What I can't allow to happen is Max to beat this hand and pin me to the floor. If he gets my shoulders pinned, it's over. So here. Now, with my left hand tight, my feet bent, I'm gonna bridge, bring my left hand underhook across his belly, and I'm gonna hip out and shoot a single leg here. I control the leg. Now we have 2 options from the single leg. We can either continue to wrestle, mount the foot, walk back, take our partner down to the ground. It's not a bad option. It is a bad option if you have a partner who's a much better wrestler than you and you feel that you can't out-wrestle them. If I'm in the single leg situation, I can't out-wrestle Max, maybe he's sprawling, he's starting to give me some issues here. What I'm gonna look to do is build to a hand, flare my underhook, and sit back into my guard. And now we've retained our guard even from a wrestling situation. So one more time, as Max comes out, he goes to pin, he drops to the knee. Look at my hand tight to my face. I bump, underhook, single leg position. From here, I'm gonna retain. I flare my underhook, post my hand, and I start to slide shin to knee. Now I fish the foot, I close my guard. And we finish back where we wanted, which was our guard position. This doesn't mean you shouldn't wrestle from there. Obviously, if you can get on top, I would prefer to be there. But in some instances, it's hard to out-wrestle somebody, so sitting to your guard can help you to get back to a neutral position rather than being passed. Guys, hopefully this video helped you with your guard retention. If you want more just like this or my entire Jiu-Jitsu library, you can go to coreprobjj.com. It's free for 7 days right here.